didn't know. I was gonna come get you and ask you.
I usually don't. Sister Kim want us to do it so she can go back over and take a notes from it.
Yes, ma'am.
You are Sister Jessica. Peace.
All right.
Thank you for your services. Thank you.
sis. All right.
You not sit up here, don't you? No, you want to. Oh,
We're gonna stand and face Jerusalem, brother
Marco.
Marco. I should remember that. Gonna open us up.
Yeah, it's all of us, man. I don't need no scripture.
Our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done
thy will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread,
Forgive us of our debts
and forgive us our debts
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
but deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom
and the power,
and the power
and the glory,
and the glory
forever.
forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right, we got the floor open for Q and A. We got any questions, comments? Any questions? Yes, sir.
Can we eat the fish that swallowed Jonah? What kind of fish was it?
The counterfish that swallowed Jonah. Let's go over to Jonah. That's a good question. Can we eat the fish that swallowed Jonah? There's one going.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look. Jonah. Let's see, what kind of fish? That swallowed Jonah.
This is a great fish. Verse 17. Chapter 1, verse 17.
Prepare the way. Prepare the way.
What whale they got?
I might be wrong about that.
I don't know where to get scales.
Hold on a second.
Actually, I think we just read it earlier somewhere else. I'm trying to see what it says.
Okay, it says 17. I thought it actually said God prepared a whale. 1 and 7. You say you have 1 and 17?
Yes, sir. I have 1 and 17.
It's a great fish.
Great fish.
Okay, that's what I thought it said too. But I kept thinking it was a scripture in Psalms that said prepared the
We
Lord
read it
prepared a
earlier,
whale.
Matthew 28. I think that's where we read it earlier. Matthew 28, I think. Matthew 12. Yeah, so it don't say it in Jonah. It
Right.
says great fish.
Matthew 12 and what?
40. Yeah. Went over
In the
it
whale's
earlier.
belly. Yeah.
Yeah, the whale's belly.
In the whale's belly. I knew it had a whale somewhere. Good job, see.
Matthew 12 and 40, that's what we read earlier.
Like,
When Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
So, yeah, so he was swallowed up by a whale.
The mind reference, Jonah 1:17.
Yeah, but that just a big fish. We want to know what kind. So now let's go to Leviticus 11. And
See what type of fish we can eat.
see what the criteria for fish to eat and not eat. So he was swallowed by a whale. And unfortunately, I don't think you're gonna be getting your lips wrapped around no whale no time soon. So I think it's just like a bunch of blubber anyway. So I don't know if that's tasty or not. I ain't never tried it. But Leviticus 11 and verse 9. Yep, 11 and 9.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, and in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Okay, so in the water, you got one criteria. You got two characteristics. It has to have fins and scales. So if you can find a whale that has fins and scales, I've never heard of one. I can't sit here and say it's not one, but as far as I know, there isn't. So it gotta have fins and scales, and then you can eat it. But if it don't, that's what it was saying, verse 10. What if it don't have fins and scales?
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Yeah, so you read verse 11.
They shall be even an abomination unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall have their carcasses in abomination.
Not supposed to have their dead body around you. You can't eat it, But these are things that don't have fins and scales, and most of your typical whales don't. So if you got some special breeds out there,
Haven't been discovered yet.
Right. They might be discovered. I just never heard of them. I leave the door open, but I don't think it's no whales with no.
I think most whales are born alive anyway. So.
You got them killer whales too. That's like I don't think you can eat them either.
No, it's slick skin.
They all
Some dolphin
Skin.
type.
Only thing I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this here, and I don't want to get into Q&A today. Fish are a strange animal, believe it or not. You have fish that are born that start out clean, and by adulthood are not clean.
Really?
Yeah, you have. I'm dealt with fish a lot. You do have fish that starts out clean, but by the time it gets adulthood, it drops all the scales and it'll have a skin body. Yeah, but you do have fish that start out with fins and scales, and by the time they're adult, they only have fins. Yeah,
Okay.
You can Google that and see. Google a type of fish that start out with scale but lose them. But there are certain fish that start out with scale, but after they get near adulthood, they do lose their scale.
Get old and lose the scales like men lose their hair sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Her follicles.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, we got any other comments or questions? You got a list over there.
Yeah, you know.
What you got?
Can you work on the Sabbath since we are in slavery still? Like back in Egypt?
You said, can we work on the Sabbath?
Yeah, like in Egypt.
Well, I mean, the difference with Egypt, you was a slave, so you ain't had no choice to take no Sabbath. That's just like if you go to jail now, they don't have to honor, let you honor nothing because you in captivity, you a slave. So I mean that don't apply. You can try, but if they make you work, they gonna beat you. And then what you gonna do? You gonna get up and work. So I mean the answer to that, we know what the law of the Sabbath is, Leviticus 23. But now on your own accord, no, you ain't gonna work. But if you're in captivity, you're a slave. you gonna do what master tell you to do. Or get some strikes. You gonna get hit with the belt. So yeah, normally Leviticus 23, you you wanna be willfully to be able to keep the Sabbath. Not just through jail in there. They might let you keep the Sabbath in jail. I don't know. You know, I really
You see that article I post about the black basketball team over in Alabama?
I was watching that earlier.
They lost. They had to forfeit their. I don't know if it was a playoff or the championship,
Mhm.
but it was all the black players kept the Sabbath from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, so they had to forfeit.
Yeah,
the
I was on the news. I was watching it earlier this morning.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
game.
Saying they don't figure out a way to honor them.
Yeah, so they're gonna try to pick a day they can play on. Yeah, praise
Yeah,
the Lord.
something like that.
They
you
stood up.
should
They was
stand
willing to
up
lose
for.
the game.
But like you comparing it to Egypt, they ain't got no choice.
Right.
They ain't know nothing about no Sabbath till Moses came and got them out.
Well, where is that parable in when the Lord walked through the corn?
Picking the corn.
Yeah,
And yeah, them brothers was hungry. They wasn't
yeah.
working.
And that's the only way you can eat if you have necessity. If it's a
Yeah.
necessity. Like if your
They
job,
wasn't
like when
working.
you get older, your job tell you, hey, I need you Saturday. I need you Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. Be there. You know what I'm saying? You have to. But like the other parable with the
I don't want to agree with that neither.
I don't see. I mean,
if you lose your job and that's your part of your schedule,
You can fight
you
your
got-
job.
Yeah.
You can fight your
But
job.
if you-
I hear brothers say that.
Mhm.
I hear brothers. Brother Will, you keep that.
I mean, I agree. I mean, some people stand up to their job to the point. I mean, you choose your own odds. But I was trying to keep on this question as far as why we was in Egypt.
Right.
That's slavery. That ain't got nothing to do with your choice.
Right.
That's what I was trying to keep it on. But as far as your job, I guess if you already got a job and you find a word, you can find a way, try to, get with the job to let you off on the Sabbath, but I just wouldn't give it in that easy, me personally. I've been there and done it, and know some people that took it to their corporate and won,
yeah.
Well, hey, they job come begging them at before sundown. Look, you gotta go. Martin, get out of here. They took it. They took it up the line.
Well, I know some brothers that gotta work on the Saturday.
Mm.
And that's the way they make their money. So
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I know some that gotta do it, but I mean, what's more important to each individual? Is it a way to get out of it, if you can, or just keep doing it and say, well, it's gonna be okay? Because look, I mean, we all
Lord
know
eventually
it's
make a
not,
way.
Hmm?
The Lord eventually-
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't just say, well, it's gonna be okay, and I know, I shouldn't be doing it, but I mean, people got their different outlook on it. But I'm not gonna teach it at all that, hey, it's okay, because I can't read that.
No, we can't do that.
Yeah, I can't read it, so. But yeah, to the original question, comparing us to Egypt, now you a slave, you gonna, and they ain't know nothing about that. They ain't, Moses had to come and give them that, and, right, and let's go and look. Let's look in not Leviticus 23. Let's go in Exodus 20. When they first gave it to them, when they first got out of Egypt, 'cause they didn't know nothing about no Sabbath when they was in Egypt to be trying to keep nothing anyway. They ain't know nothing about it. All they knew was Pharaoh and that strap, that whip or whatever. Exodus 20, let's pick it up at verse 1.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Okay, so this is the Lord that he reminded them that he brought them out of Egypt, out of the house of what? Bondage. They was in slavery. So now, since he got them out of slavery, he gonna give them some instructions. Verse 4.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Okay, so he gonna give them the 10 Commandments. You know, thou shalt have no other gods before me was the first one. We're gonna skip down to your question, you know, about the Sabbath, verse 8.
Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Mhm.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Okay, verse 11.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Okay, so, hey, the Lord just brought them out of bondage, out of slavery, and he's giving them the 10 Commandments, and remembering the Sabbath day is the fourth one. You know, so they just not getting this message here in Exodus 20. So before that, you know, hopefully to answer your question, while they was in Egypt now, they probably wasn't keeping the Sabbath at all. They were slaves. So, anybody have anything else? You know something? Brother Mark? Oh, so there you go. Okay.
Is football games and family reunions allowed on the Sabbath?
Football games and family reunions. Let's go over to Isaiah. Let's see. 55.
55 and 56 got their own play. 56. That's it. Oh, yes, man.
58 and 13.
Yep.
That's the one. Own play. That's it.
Isaiah 58 and 13. Thanks, Brother Marco. I shall forget his name no more. I thought that's what it was. I didn't want to ask him again. I was just going to call him Mark. But
I done heard
You heard Mark?
Marco, Marcus.
Okay. 58 and 13.
If thou turn away thy foot from doing, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasures on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words.
Okay, so, I mean, basically, you know, short answer to your question, no and no. You know, we want to focus on the Lord on the Sabbath day. A football game, it don't have nothing to do with the Lord. That's what Brother Mark was just explaining, how a basketball team, a young, what was it, high school or college?
High school.
Was it high school?
In Alabama.
And they made it to the playoffs, and they stood up and didn't play in the playoffs. They sat out because they was having the games on the side. It's the same thing with football. You know, got a lot of football players that played in youth, But, word of God say not to do your own pleasure or work. So, I mean, you can look at it either way, because I played football. That's some work. You got to work out. You got to get out there and get hit. And, I mean, that's work and pleasure. So, you don't want to be out there doing that when you're supposed to be focusing on the Lord. And family reunions, the same thing. You ain't supposed to be cooking. So I mean, I think I felt like Solomon one year went to what you want to call it. I went about after party. I went maybe an hour before the Sabbath, and I told the family I ain't doing nothing. I come there and sit there, and they got mad at that. I mean, I can't eat. I ain't finna eat nothing. Y'all cooking. Me and the wife, we just sitting here. Ain't nothing wrong with doing that on the Sabbath. We just sitting here. Basically, we're just talking me and the wife. People getting mad. Well, I invited y'all. We told you we ain't doing that. What you thought we was playing? I don't want nothing to eat. I don't want nothing to drink. I mean, what can I do? Pull out my Bible in the middle of the party while they, doing the cha-cha slide and read my Bible. I mean, it's really nothing much for you to do. And they not at the family reunion to focus on the Lord. They just, doing what they do on family reunion. So, I don't attend that. I don't attend class reunions. I don't attend, hey, if it ain't got nothing to do with me keeping the Sabbath, I just won't go. Sometimes you just might have to suffer at a certain. I even had a friend tell me, man, you can't do nothing. And that's why them times Satan got in my head like, man, you sure right, I can't do nothing. Then I came back to reality like, oh well, what do I want to do? Do something now or do something later?
You remember Brother Rashard from last week? You remember Brother Rashard from last week? The brother that read last week. He played was it arena football? He was almost getting ready to go to play pro football. He walked all away from all of it because of the sack. Yeah, I think was he playing arena football or college football or something? Yeah, Brother Johnny's brother from Atlanta. Yeah, he walked away. They said he had a good chance of going to the pros. He walked away from it all because he wanted to keep the sack. I think he was playing college ball, arena football, or something.
Wherever you got more and more in the pros was just keeping the sack.
Yeah, he walked away from it to keep the sack.
Yeah, Pro Bowl was just finding out.
Audemars, what his name? Audemars. The professional basketball player. Yeah.
Yeah, and another one or something. There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Man.
I was telling him because he was in the flesh with Brother Rashard being here. You could see somebody that actually did. But yeah, Brother Rashard walked away from all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know if Brother Eli come out here. I don't think he come out here.
He been here before.
Next time Brother Eli, I remember to bring it up. He recently played ball. He played ball on the side. I just wasn't having that. So, maybe not that recently, but recently enough.
I heard him tell stories about his kids not being able to play on the sack.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got something else?
Lost money one time with the one of them lost money because of a commercial. They wanted to shoot on the Sabbath. And yeah, he's like, no, I don't care how much you're paying. They can't do commercials on the Sabbath.
Right. Yeah. Right. What you got, young man? Anybody else got nothing? No? Okay.
Who are the little ones in the Bible? Are they the 42 kids that have the Elijah bald head?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the little ones in the Bible? Are they the 42 kids that called Elijah bald head?
Who are the little ones? What's you got a scripture you're referring to? Or?
Little ones.
You said 42 kids called Elijah Baldhead? I don't know what's that.
They the ones he talking about, he actually call them kids, then the little ones can pertain to adults or anybody, ain't it? I think that's in Matthew 18 where they talking about
That's
offending the little
mostly talking
ones.
about kids.
Yeah, I think they actually call them kids in that scripture. Huh?
It was Matthew 18 and 10.
Oh, but those little ones, yeah, 18 and 6. I think those are adults. Anybody.
Well, they still talking about kids in Matthew 18.
Is it?
Matthew 18 and
6.
pick it up. We'll pick it up at verse 1. Matthew 18 and 1.
Yeah, I do see that. I know in some places.
18 and verse 1.
At the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Okay, so he's talking to a particular little child. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody being called bald head. Because he grabbed the little child, but the question was, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Who gonna be the greatest? And that's what made him call a little child over there. And set him in the midst and said, Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because a little child is more humble than some adults, believe it or not. You know, we get our mind set and you get grown and sometimes just think you king of the hill and you the lion king and you can do anything. But forget about how to be humble like a child. You know, but whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. You know, verse 5.
And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me.
Mm-hmm.
But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it is were better for him that a millstone hang about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
Okay, so if you offend one of these little ones, or somebody that's humble as a child, it's better that you just hang a big stone around your neck and just be thrown in the sea. Because the Lord, humility is what the Lord really is looking for to get into the kingdom. And that's one thing that we have to, a lot of us have to remind ourselves of daily, on a daily basis, is how to be humble. How to forgive one another, how to respectfully love one another. So that's very important. It's humility. So hopefully, that I don't know who called Elijah Baldhead or whatever, but no, this is a reference to that. Somebody else back there got something, I hear you. No, nobody else got no questions?
He on the road.
They on the road. I see another little hand back there. What was that? He ain't got no question. You got a question? What you got?
How did the king of Egypt get all these servants and his men to lead his guard? I don't think so.
How did he get all these people?
What?
How did he get all those people to work for him and be his guard?
How did he get all those people to work for him?
I
Okay.
think that's what it is.
Well, let me give you a best version. I'll give you the short version. He got them to work for him because he took them.
Okay.
He took them.
Yeah, it's an Exodus. I think it's Exodus 5. They talk about
Exodus 1. I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
Exodus 1. Now, Israel, they already were in Egypt. They were cool with one Pharaoh. They were good with one Pharaoh. They were living good. But that Pharaoh died, and now they got a new Pharaoh that's not so good. And he gonna do something to them. So we're gonna pick it up there. Verse 6, yeah, about there.
And Joseph died, and all his brothers, and all their generation.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled with them.
See, so they was living in Egypt and they was doing well. They was growing, they were multiplying, they was making babies, they were doing their thing. But now you finna have some changes because you finna have a new Egyptian king. Verse 8.
Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Okay, so now you got a new king come in and he's seeing how they flourishing and how well they doing. Like now, there's too many of them. We got to do something. We got to do something to bring them down. And sometimes that happens even today when you got the poor people who seem to be doing well. Sometimes, hey, it work out that way where they bring them, we're gonna bring you back down. Because they don't want to see, they want to keep people poor. You know, hey, if it wasn't no poor people in the world, or homeless people in the world, this world would probably be a whole lot different. Because, you know, especially for the ones in charge, because then they ain't got nobody to make money off of. Make money off the poor people. So this new king, he didn't know Joseph, and he didn't want them to become great. Verse 10.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them. Let them multiply, and it comes to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Python and Ramses.
Okay, so you wanted to know how they got there, how he got them to work for him. Well, now we reading about he beat them. He afflicted them. He beat them up. You know, that's what countries do to, you know, the little guys when they want you to make you do something. They come beat you up. Yeah. It's like if you understand what's going on in the news now, you got a big country bullying a little country right now. Called Ukraine. They being bullied right now. mean, that's not fair, that's not good, but that's just how it is. That's how they got there and they worked for them. They didn't want to, they had to. You got something else?
Is it kind of like you pay so many people to protect you and they have to give you everything?
That you pay mean people to protect you?
Yeah, they're constantly.
Extortion. Not in this case.
No. Slavery is something that you don't have no choice. You gotta work. You know, you ain't got no choice. You ain't getting paid to do it. You ain't got no money to pay nobody to keep the bullets off you. You just gotta do it.
Do it or die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
John 5, verse 45, it says that Jesus didn't come to accuse us to the Father. Isn't that the spirit of Satan?
You said John 5. You said John 5 and 25. Is this who? Satan? 45? And he said, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
It says that Jesus didn't come to accuse us to the Father. Isn't that the spirit of Satan?
Mm-mm. He said he didn't come to accuse you to the Father. There was one that accused of you, even Moses, of whom you trust. So what he mean by accusing, he don't have to come and tell you to stop stealing. He didn't come to tell Brother Mark to stop stealing. You know, because maybe Brother Marco already had came and told him, hey, stop stealing. So why would somebody else have to come tell him to stop stealing again? Revelations 12 and 10.
Satan accused the angel.
Revelation 12 and 10. Revelation 12 and 10 speaks, and I heard a loud voice saying, in heaven now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brother is cast down, which accused them before God day and night. So he's thinking that he's asking, was this Satan? Let's back up and let's read. You know, sometimes you bag up a couple verses and read down a couple verses, you might have your answer. So, excuse me.
He wasn't asking if that was Satan. He was asking if just the same, the accusing spirit in John 45, the same spirit that Satan had.
Oh no, damn, that's two totally different two things. Moses brought you the law to accuse you before Jesus. That's what Jesus was referring to there.
Can I read the definition of accuser?
Mm-hmm.
The definition of accuser is a person who claims that someone has committed an offense or do something wrong. So when that Matthew, was it John?
Yeah.
That John, basically, Jesus ain't the accuser. The accuser is Moses because he's the one that brought the law and he pointed out what's wrong.
Mhm. Yeah, so now this accusing Revelation, this is not the same
Accused.
accuser of Revelation 12.
It's two different spirits.
Alright. Yeah, there's two different accusers here. Hmm?
He said that.
Oh. Anything else? Nothing else? Nothing count? Okay, well, I don't have anything else. I guess we can close out.
Yeah.
Close us out. Hmm. Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done.
thy will be done.
In earth,
in earth,
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts,
And forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
and lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Brother Mark, you know. You got it with that one, yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say, if you
No, I'm
keep having problem with this mouse, you know you can get you a little wireless.
That's what
mouse.
I got one at the house.
You got one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's something to do with how hard you put your hand on.
That's what I do when I do my lessons. I just stick my little mouse.
Yes,
in
we got a couple of them at the house.
It's much more easy. Hey, hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right.
Will it disappear complete? There you go.
That might work much better.
Yeah, I got a mouse at the house. I think I'm gonna put it on here.